Hey, alright, what's up? It is the Purple Yeti, and I have returned. It's a little bit wetter right now, but that's fine. Um, I'm doing alright. Got a little wet, getting some wings, relaxing with some bold soda, and still enjoying my ridiculous moniker thoroughly. So, I got my Texas State Champs Kansas State shirt on, representing down here in old wet and weird Austin. Kind of a quiet week. The only really big thing we'll get to shortly, but we're under 50 days away from college football. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. That should be a rockin' good time. A little bit of country and a little bit of rock and roll. Wait. No, right there. Yeah. Country, rock and roll. Guitars, by the way. Acoustic, electric. Yeah, anyway. So we are going to find out what happened the last week. And really the big thing has been just the fallout from the Freeh report. And no, it's not like Matthew Lesko get free money from the government report. No, it is Freeh with an H at the end of it. And it pretty much took Penn State and everybody involved in Penn State to the shed on it. I mean, I don't know if it's a lack of institutional control. The NCAA will get their hands into that. But pretty much from all the coaches through Joe Paterno on up to the president, although really in the pecking order, it turns out now that Paterno was like the man who run the whole campus, but turns out there was all blame to dish around everywhere. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that came out of it was that in '98, in '98 they knew about what Sandusky was doing, and they still let him hang around. They still let him hung around the facilities. So, you know, dope. There goes a legacy down the toilet. He'll still be remembered as a good football coach, but I think all that cachet Paterno had, especially, is gone. I mean, the other thing that came out is that apparently, as soon as Sandusky was being investigated at the beginning of 2011, he renegotiated his contract so that he could quit at the end of the year and get $3 million from it. So it was obvious that he wasn't, a dusty old man who didn't know what was going on and all that other stuff. No, if he's renegotiating contracts, he let that happen and continue, and that is gonna, we're still seeing fallouts from it. Everything from as little as, like, there's a mural in Happy Valley with a halo around Paterno, and that got painted over, to people are starting to rise up, and I don't know if it's going to happen yet. They're still making a decision on removing Joe Paterno's statue off the Penn State campus. Usually when I hear people clamor and scream for something like that extreme, I'm usually just against it, because it's usually just reactionism, overreacting to a situation, which people usually do first here in this great country of ours. But in this case, I think it might actually, even after the super hyper ones quiet down and everyone takes a breath and thinks about it, they're going to have to end up doing something. Because otherwise you're just going to have to put a guard on stand in front of that statue, so nobody can vandalize it, on top of, the whole idea of the school supporting somebody who now is going to posthumously be known for the pinnacle or the epitome of non-action, and why you have to do something if you see something wrong, and it's even just as wrong almost if you don't do anything versus actually committing the act. Now the act, whatever bad act may be, is bad, but it's almost just as bad if you're idle and do nothing about it and you have knowledge of it. It takes a lot of courage, takes some moral gusto that apparently we found out that Joe Paterno does not have. So, and there's more stuff that's coming out about it. I mean, it's just, New York Times has a list of, top worst, the top scandals in college football, like it was a TMZ list or something. And I wouldn't say that this was number one with a bullet, but I think it kind of exposed some things wrong with college football, and hopefully, if any changes comes from this, it doesn't really damage the sport too much. I mean, I still love watching football. I'll watch football and I'll be a part of it. I know it's just a sport. It's not my life, so you know, guys, just get a cool head, realize, hey, it is just a sport, and then tell the TV people to go F off, because they're the ones that are grinding it down. So, anyway, enough of that. Yeah. So let's get on to, like, some football. NCAA College Football 13 is out. Okay, that's video games, so that doesn't count. So, go play that, and then come back. Or listen to me in the background while you play. I don't care, whatever. Or just tell me what you do down in the comments below while you listen to me. Like, what do? Do you mow the lawn? Do you work on pottery? Who knows? Just let me know. Right down below. Because of the game finally come out, now we can know just what the schedules are, because the video game is the most important first step toward a college football season. Everything else follows after that. Yeah. Search online somewhere. I don't know. There's still a BCS, and the bowl schedule just came out. I'm not going to put the link down below. Just Google it. So, go search that out and find your favorite bowl and when it's showing, and start making plans. Utah and BYU will not have any more plans for about a year or two. They're taking a break from their Holy War rivalry. This is why rivalries are awesome. Holy War, Border War, not Showdown. Red River Shootout, not Showdown. Rivalries are awesome. It sucks that this is going to be on hold, but I mean, Notre Dame and Michigan are taking a break too, so just because you have a rival doesn't necessarily mean you have to play every year, as I'm sure Missouri fans will find out really quick. So, what else? Oh, Paterno. Kansas State. Speaking of Kansas State, and of the 16 keys to win that they have, one of them should be they should have a 17 or 16B or something that says if you leave the team, you shouldn't be held hostage in your scholarship. Seriously, K-State, what are you thinking? The Foketi guy who left wasn't trying out for the major, still got another year, but he doesn't want to play at Kansas State, and they still have him under scholarship, and they haven't let him go. I mean, you've heard stunk like this raised in Wisconsin. You've heard it raised for basketball players all the time, and it always seems kind of childish and ridiculous that these schools still kind of hang on to him, competition-wise or not. They should let him go. They should let it be known that the kids are free to go, because if you don't have that option, or if you do what Kansas State does to this Foketi guy, it's gonna look bad. Now, granted, Kansas State doesn't really have a lot of scholarships, or I guess what I should say is that they don't bring in the 4-star talent. They usually just scrape through the JUCOs. So, I mean, they're getting the scholarships, but even on that notion, they should just let this guy go and use it on somebody to pick up for a year or two to replace him. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Kansas State, act like Texas State champs and let the guy go out of his scholarship. That's all you gotta do. But I mean, yeah. It's a little messed up. It's not as messed up as Big Ten or the Pac-12. I got to take a shot at them right now. Um, they were gonna try to set up um, a yearly series where some teams play some other teams from the conference, not unlike what's being set up in other college football and basketball conferences. But they can't get it right. They talked it off. They cut it off. They're not doing that anymore because they're not organized. I think it's the Big Ten. I think the Pac-12 are doing all right, but they just don't know their head from a hole in the ground, and they can't do schedules. They can't do anything. It's just the Big Ten is becoming more and more irrelevant as the years go by. And when Notre Dame joins a conference and it's not the Big Ten, it will be the final nail in that coffin of ego, and hopefully that'll be buried, and we'll see a little bit of humility coming from up north instead of just this frigid era of superiority that is non-existent, at least for the last 15 years. And I don't buy that cyclical stuff, because migration patterns show that warmer states play football more, and more people are doing football in the warmer states, and there's more population in the warmer states. So don't even start with me that. So really, it's more of a Big Ten, get your house in order. And well, starting with Penn State and ending. I guess we're gonna end with Penn State because I got nothing else. So what will happen? I don't know. More stuff with Paterno's name will get removed, and it'll take a couple years for Penn State to whittle this out. It's a little disconcerting that they've had their second largest donation period ever for the school right after this whole Sandusky stuff came up. So I mean, it does kind of make you think. But hopefully, cooler heads and better leadership will show up and make it a little bit more reputable than what it is. Because right now it is kind of exemplar of what's wrong with college football, what's wrong with universities, and what's wrong with the Big Ten, and all that stuff. So they'll find a way. And I'm gonna have a sip. I'm gonna say goodbye. Not before you comment or subscribe, up or left. Stay dry, stay easy. Football's almost here, and I'll see you later.